Hello, everybody. It is 8:07 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, December 27th, 2016. Hope everyone is doing good. This is really my first check-in of the day. I did jump on way earlier today and been checking in throughout the day, but haven't done much talking. So, how are you guys doing? Everybody doing good? Okay, well, in case you guys didn't hear, Europe was struck by two different earthquakes. Now, I should say one earthquake in Europe, one in the Mediterranean. A 5.0, 4.9 struck next to Crete, down in Greece, and then followed by a 5.6 to 5.9, striking at our plate boundary bend in eastern Romania. And my past viewers, people who have been in here for a long time, know that whenever an earthquake strikes here, right at this bend point, there's usually a transfer of pressure going out through North Europe and across through Italy. So if the earthquake were to have struck more north, up near our north arrow, then all the pressure would be going up through North Europe. But because it's here at the bottom of the bend, we found in the past that not only does pressure transfer up through Poland and Germany going out towards UK and the North Sea, but pressure will also go over towards Italy, a little bit of it. You can see how it's kind of on the hump there, or the bend in the plate. A little bit of that pressure, like water hitting on that edge or that fork, water would go both ways. Well, the pressure goes both ways, but mainly following to the north-northwest. So whenever we see Romania get hit, usually we see North Europe get hit within a few days after that. Secondly, it's big enough to increase things all around South Europe. So Macedonia, Slovakia, even as far west as Italy, maybe even South France, North Italy. This is big enough to excite the whole region. Okay? Secondly, the 5.0 that struck down here by Crete. We were looking for a 5.3 to strike near Crete, and instead a 5 to 4.9. So I'm a few, 0.3 off on where I was looking for here. But the 5.6 up to the north, that's kind of a little bit more of a surprise. Now, to see what may have caused that 5.6, we would actually have to go back about a day and a half to 2 days. And let's do that. Let's quickly turn down the feed. I'm going to turn on the Russian feed. Okay? So what you're going to see here in Russia is something a little bit different than what was shown by the USGS. See anything on the map here, guys? That's right. Over the past couple days, there was a 5.1 that struck in Iran. So 5.1 in Iran, plus we add in all the 4s that were mixed in here, 4.9, 4.8, 4.3, and we start getting up to mid-range 5. Okay? So, in other words, we're not being shown the whole deal by the USGS or the EMSC, and they straight up left a 5.1 off the feeds. And of course, you see a 4.9 on here. Well, that makes a little bit of a difference when it goes up above 5, wouldn't you say, guys? Right? So they all basically ignore the 5. You wouldn't know it. And, of course, 4.9, that falls under people's radars. That's here, let's see what they've got for this. Okay, this is from the EMSC. Okay? Now, I would like you guys to go check the USGS site and see if you have any Iranian reported earthquakes for today or yesterday in the 5.0, 4.9 range. And what you're going to find is that the USGS does not have a 5.1 or 4.9 or anything listed here. So you're missing a 5 from Iran right along the plate boundary. But if you add that all together with the other earthquakes, it starts to add up very quick. And when you see where our red arrow is and you see where our 5.1 is, it's very possible that the pressure transferred over, up, and where our red arrow goes up, it literally transferred right up to our S-shaped bend across the Black Sea. Now, if this same 5.1 or 4.9 had struck on the south bend, on the south arrow, then that 5.6 would be occurring down here in Greece. Does that make sense? So because it's on the northern part of the boundary, it goes up to the north. If it was on the southern part of the boundary, it would stick to the south, the pressure, most of it. Yeah, so we have to watch over the next couple days for more activity to develop off this 5.6. Luckily, I do have some good news. While it is moderately deep, it's not deep enough to be completely below the plate, which means the chances of a very large earthquake, 6.6 to 7.6, are less than the chance of more like a lesser earthquake, let's say a 5 or a 4.9, to be striking in North Europe, maybe across Poland, maybe out in the North Sea. Definitely to excite things over the next few days across North Europe and over in Italy. So two directions, both are going to be hit. North Europe, you see where our arrows go, goes across Poland, goes across Holland, right where the area we warned by the German-Holland border, then out into the North Sea. Secondly, over in Italy, guys, magnitudes we could see increase, well, let's say, and I'll be addressing this at 10 p.m. more, but just by a first look at it, I mean, since this is the first time I've talked about it, I've been thinking about it today, but the first time I've really vocalized it, that, this should take things by a magnitude and a half up. So if we're at mid-range 3, that would take us to at least upper 4 back in Italy over the next couple days. That holds in line with the upper 4 that struck here. And it holds in line with the forecast we issued a day ago. What else are we looking at here? Over here in the Western Pacific. Okay, well, the area just west of our red arrow started to get hit, and now progressing out of the swarm location, new 5.0 earthquakes going to the west near Papua New Guinea, actually going into Papua New Guinea. Now, Papua New Guinea itself, our warned location here, has not been hit yet. Just understand that. Couple-day warning for that. West coast of the U.S., well, let's get into you. All right. So I'm looking for a 5.7 to strike here and a 4.3 hits. Now, the spot location is spot on. Spot on. Magnitude and a half less than what I'm looking for. So that's a huge strike out for me, personally. Now, whether a 5.7 strikes out here or a 4.3, nobody's going to be feeling it. So it's it's no difference as whether or not someone's going to feel that earthquake or not. But I was looking for a 5.7 instead of 4.3 hit. But that being said, let's just go take a quick look at the magnitude list for this series of earthquakes. And, maybe we might find out that there's actually higher recordings that showed up and they went with the low. Would you think the USGS... No, the USGS wouldn't do that, would they? They wouldn't, detect, let's say, a 4.9 or a 5 off the coast and then downgrade it, would they? Well, guys, take a look at our magnitude list here. Look at this. 6.9 detected, 5.7 detected, a few 4s, then we go back up into 5s. 5.2, 5.2, 5.2, 3s, 3s, and then we go up into the 5s and 6s. Okay? So, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, if they're going with the super low ball, there's super high 4s, low 5s, and a 6 in there, and they go with a 4.3. We're looking for a 5.7. We know they're trolling my pages. What more can I say? Did it hit? Did it hit? You guys just saw the list. Did it hit the earthquake I was looking for? Or did they just downgrade it to the point where it looks like it didn't? I personally, when I look at that list right there, I throw out the 3s. Every single one of them, gone. Now, they're going to factor those in to bring that sucker down. I throw them out. There's no point to even report them. That's hogwash. If all the other stations are showing 4s and 5s and a 6, and a few stations show 3, you toss out those 3s, and you toss out the 6, and you go with the 4s and 5s. And then that's going to take you up to a 5-something instead of where they have it now. Really bothers me. Really bothers me to think that they might be doing that just to get out of being wrong on earthquake forecasting in general, that they said it couldn't be done, and so now they're trying to, epically downgrade the earthquakes that are striking in the areas that we warn, when they're actively taking the warnings that we're issuing and picking them apart. Think about it, guys. The biggest professional in the industry, the guy who won the geophysics medal and runs the network for Washington State, he's the lead geologist at the college there in University of Washington, and they also run the equipment. He's the one who comes to my pages to say horrible things? And then the National Earthquake Information Center and the National Science Foundation run the equipment off the coast of Oregon. And they're also tuned in, and they're also denying earthquakes can be forecast. So ultimately, I really wonder. Yeah. Also, check this out, guys. Look at our X marks the spot down here at the South Sandwich Islands. Told you it was going to be coming, and it would be expected, and it's just the leftovers. It's the leftovers off of whatever did not expend its energy all the way down South America. So you got to go back a few days to Christmas Day when the 7.7 hit. The leftovers off that, the 5.4, 5.5, have now struck. But most of the pressure releasing here with the 7, 6s, 5, or I'm sorry, 7, 5s, and 4s. There were no 6 aftershocks. So pressure rapidly diminishing down there as it goes down and around the plate. It's not just chance that our X marks the spot got hit. We were talking about this. I also talked last night about how they had stopped reporting earthquakes on the mid-Atlantic ridge. And I told you guys it was very odd, and that I was going to chastise them publicly, and usually that's enough to make an effect for them to report the earthquakes back on the mid-Atlantic ridge. And lo and behold, today, an earthquake is reported back on the mid-Atlantic ridge. I don't know. Yeah, guys, I don't know. That's the ticket. All right, so there's our little update for now. I'll be back on at 10 p.m. and we will go over each one of these locations. We'll open up Google Earth. We'll look up the earthquakes on the West Coast. We'll see if there's anything bigger coming. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves, and all my West Coast viewers at 10 p.m. again, I'll show the station list. You guys can, again, see for yourselves. It's greater than a 4.3 that hit in the exact location where we warned. The tip of our red arrow going down to off the coast of California. Right? I mean, it's inside the tip of the red arrow. I mean, I don't know how much more accurate we could get it down to right now. But, yeah. So, now that an earthquake has struck on the West Coast, let's go with it. Let's go with 4.3 for a second. Let's actually say that, for some reason, that downgrade is accurate. Okay. And I got the magnitude wrong on the coast. Okay, so be it. Whatever. So, 4.3, it's on the West Coast. That means potential for 4.3, or at least 4.0, exists between Yellowstone, Colorado, and Oklahoma. So look where the earthquake is here off the coast of Oregon. And I want you to imagine that pressure going across to the east-southeast. And it's going to hit the edge of the craton, this red edge, and it's going to carry down and around and swirl right back up into Oklahoma. And that should happen in the next day to 2 days. Maybe 3 days at the most, but usually 1 to 2 days. So, if it was a 4.3 that struck on the coast, we should see 4.0 activity in the Midwest really soon. Just that simple. And if it was larger than 4.3, then we should see at least a noteworthy swarm or something larger than 4.3 breaking out in the Midwest. So either a huge swarm will break out or a single larger earthquake that tallies up to the total of the 4.3 on the coast. And that's assuming it's a 4.3. Oh, what else is going on? Central America, yeah, multiple 4s hitting in Central America. We got some new volcanic blasts to deal with as well. So that's really interesting to see that all going down. Yeah, and today is the 27th, the day after the end of the world, man. Hope you guys are all enjoying heaven. We're not there, guys. I was telling people about this, you know, the galactic wave and the talk about, you know, the impending whatever, that we do have to, as science believers, as people who trust in, you know, the observable, at least when we're talking about science, we're not talking about faith here, we're just talking about the things you can observe, that when that wave hit, the big earthquake that came after it, that to me made sense, but nothing more than that would make sense to me. So, you know, all these people were looking, I think a lot of people were looking for some kind of major, cataclysmic, end of days, hundreds of thousands of people dead type event on the 26th or 27th. Now, we still have a few more hours to go on the 27th, but I would dare say, unless something happens in the next 4 hours, all the people who were looking for that now need to really look at themselves and think about why they were looking for that. Why did that expectation appear? Okay, and then we go back in time and you say, okay, a big earthquake hit, supposedly when the last wave occurred, right? So back in 2004, that was what everybody said. They said that this wave hit in 2004, and it caused the big earthquake in Sumatra that then caused the tsunami. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we should have been looking for a large earthquake to hit within a few days to a week of the wave coming in. And that's exactly what happened. So, now we have two instances where this wave that people are talking about, this wave of energy that shows up before a large earthquake. And the earthquake that struck on Christmas Day, I'd say that's within the realm of acceptability and time frame. If people are looking for a galactic wave to hit, you get it down to within a day. You're looking on the 26th and it hits on the 25th. Now, I wasn't looking for any of that. I didn't know what. I told you in the video. I don't know what to make of it. But if it is energy, it's a huge amount of energy which would go to ground. And the ground is ultimately the core of the earth. Electrical ground. When you plug your wall into the socket, they say that goes to ground. Well, ground goes into the ground. And into the ground goes down through the dirt, down through the soil, into the bedrock, down through the bedrock, down through the mantle, into the crust, through the crust, even down into the core of the earth, which is electromagnetically powered, by the way. It's not a ball of metal down at the core of the earth. So if a big wave comes in and it sends a huge distortion on the microwave background imagery, that means that's equivalent to microwave energy. And that amount of microwave energy precipitates and goes like rain, falls to the earth. But it doesn't just hit the ground, it goes down through the ground into the core. That will excite things, which same day that the big wave hit, we had our extremely deep earthquake here at the Peru-Argentina border in a rare location with a rare, very deep earthquake. The same day, within 24 hours, I think a few hours before, the wave showed up on Mimic, or at least a few hours before we found out about it, the deep earthquake occurred. So, same time the wave's hitting, deep earthquakes occur, then within a week, 7 days to the day, a 7.9 hits down here in South America. They downgraded it to 7.6, whatever, because it was 7.9. That's the largest earthquake of the year, or the other 7.9. There was two 7.9s this past week. They were the largest earthquakes of the year. There was nothing above 7.9 this entire year. And then they both hit within a week of each other. We have our deep earthquake and our wave that came in showing up on Mimic. Now, those of you who have followed me for a long time know that the people who were promoting the wave story, I verbally excoriated them on YouTube. I went off on them. Okay, I made fun of them. I did all kinds of stuff. And it was wrong. I was wrong. It was wrong for me to make fun of them. It was wrong for me to verbally excoriate them. They were saying something was going to happen, and before it happened, I said it was impossible for it to happen. And I said it was not going to happen. Well, then imagine my shock and surprise when I'm looking at the Mimic system that I've used for years to look at solar events and weather events, and all of a sudden, there's a giant planetary wave hitting it. Imagine what I got on and I was like, oh my God, this is the ultimate egg on the face. But I ate it. I ate the egg on the face. I got on and told you what was going on and what I thought it meant. And just as we thought, it led to a large earthquake. Now I think it's done, unless we see another one. Now there's other people trying to tell me it's still showing and they've made it invisible. And that's unfortunately wrong. I looked at it real close, and that's the regular sun passing over. If you look at the times, it matches. you know, as the sun hits high noon and it's passing over the Pacific or passing over Europe, it leaves a slight looking wave. That's from the excitement of the sun, the particles of the sun. That's normal. So they're not hiding it now, or if they are, they're doing a damn good job of it. Oh boy, oh boy. So that's what's going down right now. Okay, so the wave hit today was, I wasn't calling for a 26th or 27th activity. I said watch for about a week, and I said that would put us, I said that put us right at Christmas, and then that literally on Christmas, the big earthquake hit. So the day after Christmas, 26th, 27th, is what the people online were looking for some kind of, you know, huge catastrophe that kills a bunch of people. Now, I would say you should be satisfied with the 7.9 that hit. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking for a giant event to happen, and the largest earthquake of the year occurs within a day of the day you're looking for something to happen, and then nothing happens on the day you're looking for, and you get to the next day, and here we are, we're on the 27th, and everybody's saying, what's going on with the galactic wave? I would dare say that the people who were looking for all the deaths got it wrong, and the people who were just looking for some kind of, you know, earthquake or something to happen from it got it right. Now, I think I fall kind of outside of both of those categories. I thought at first nothing was happening and it was a hogwash story. Then I observed it, scientifically speaking, and made a conclusion that if it's energy, it's going to cause an earthquake. And it caused an earthquake. That's all I can say. Okay, and I see, guys, I see the messages. I've got the message from Sue. I have to download it on this PC, and in order for me to do that, I'm going to actually have to restart my PC because I'm having a browser error right now. So I can't, I can't log into Yahoo with the live stream going right now for some reason. So I'd have to shut off this PC, turn off the live stream, kill the stats, kill everything to get that on this dang stream. So I've already got it on my other PC, and maybe I didn't hit send on the email. I did respond to the email, so maybe I need to go down on my laptop and see if I hit send. I probably typed up a huge long email, and then it's just sitting there ready to go. But I will. Yeah, the new arrow map from Sue, incredibly cool. Thank you for taking the time to do that. You guys have done so much to help. And I mean so much, man. For real, you've helped me so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will attempt to get my browser thing fixed. If I have to go on from a different browser or whatever, I hate using Internet Explorer. I don't have any of my passwords or anything saved. So we'll see, we'll see. I'll try and get it done before the 10 p.m. update so we can have the new arrow map on here. Okay? Word up. Peace out, and thanks for removing the line too, by the way, the white line. So that won't be visible anymore. Finally, I tried to fix it. I couldn't stretch it anymore. I don't know what I was doing in Photoshop that was wrong, but the white line was just byproduct of whatever. Oh gosh. Okay, see you guys in a few. 10 p.m. Central Time. Oh, by the way, guys, I went to the P.O. box again today, and I have another stack of things waiting for me in the P.O. box. We got something from Peggy out of Carlsberg, Washington, Lindsay out of Clifton Park, New York, D out of, or initial D out of Wickensburg, Arizona, from the Millers out of Bandon, Oregon, from D-E-E out of Tacoma, Washington, Jimmy out of Oakland, California, Lynn out of Spokane, Washington. So I got a whole bunch of Washington stuff. Then got a pack from an airmail pack that came from New Zealand, and a big box, heavy box, from Italy, but sent via Swiss Post. Swiss Post, okay? And then another box from Murphy out of Troy, New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, from New Hampshire to Washington State, from New Zealand to Italy. So I got a whole nother unboxing to do. Oh man, I'm going to wait a day. I am going to wait a day. I still have to clean my... I have so many thank yous to write. I think I have something like 60 or 70 thank yous to write. If you guys want to watch the unboxing videos, I have made a playlist on my main YouTube channel now. It consists of, I think, 16 different videos already. Most of them are at least 20 minutes to an hour long. One of them is 3 hours long. So I would dare say 15 hours or more of unboxing, straight up, me opening for 15 hours already. And reading all the, reading all the mail, showing what people are sending. 15 hours worth already, guys. So it looks like I got another hour's worth right here, which I'm going to wait till tomorrow, and I will do that, okay? Word to my people. Much love. Much, much love. I'll be back in a little while.